Why are complex jazz drum patterns hard to follow? Imagine trying to follow a conversation where everyone speaks at once but in a way that sounds perfectly in sync. That's what listening to complex jazz drum patterns can feel like. Jazz drumming is all about layered rhythms and independence between limbs. The drummer plays different patterns with each arm and leg, creating a web of sound that can be hard to entangle. One reason these patterns are tricky is because of the swing feel. Instead of playing even beats, jazz drummers often use triplets, which divide the beat into 3 parts instead of 2. This makes the rhythm feel more fluid and less predictable. When combined with syncopation, where accents fall off the main beats, it creates a groove that can be tough to follow. Another big factor is limb independence. Jazz drummers usually keep a steady ride cymbal pattern that acts like a heartbeat for the band. Meanwhile, their other limbs add accents, fills, and improvisations on the snare drum, bass drum, and hi-hat. Playing all these at once is like conducting a small orchestra with your limbs. For listeners, it can be challenging to pick out the main pulse or beat because of all the overlapping rhythms. Jazz drummers also use a lot of comping, which is the art of supporting other musicians with rhythmic accents and improvisational fills. These patterns change constantly to match the mood and harmony of the music. Because of this spontaneous interaction, the drum patterns are never exactly the same twice. This unpredictability makes them harder to follow than simple, repetitive beats. Historically, jazz drummers evolved from basic military rudiments to more complex patterns. They started using polyrhythms, multiple rhythms played at the same time, and motifs that extend beyond the usual for time signature. For example, some drummers incorporate 7-beat patterns that cycle over standard measures, disguising the underlying pulse. This complexity requires a listener to have a strong sense of timing and rhythm to keep up. For musicians, mastering these patterns demands advanced coordination. They need to stay steady on the ride cymbal while improvising with other limbs and listening carefully to the ensemble. From a cultural perspective, these intricate rhythms are a form of musical conversation. They express the improvisational spirit of jazz and contribute to its emotional depth. So, the difficulty in following complex jazz drum patterns comes from their layered nature, the use of swing and syncopation, limb independence, and improvisational changes. All of these elements make jazz drumming a rich, dynamic art from that invites both challenge and admiration.